What does it look like to love a community rather than to leave it?
She saved my life.
The people here, they care.
Keep breathing, never get enough. Keep fighting and never give it up.
Someone cared enough to help them get better.
Keep the dream alive.
My hope for Milwaukee is that we come together as one.
Milwaukee, I love you.
Good morning and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. A local woman has a heart that stretches all the way to Ukraine. When she saw the images of innocent refugees fleeing terror, she knew she had to do something. So she opened up her Romanian home to those in need. Photos of some of life's most joyous and beautiful moments, captured by wedding photographer Olga Thomas of Bayview. But on her mind these days, the ugly side of life, war and the atrocities that go with it. What goes through your mind when you see that devastation, Olga?
Well, for me personally, it triggers images that I've seen in the streets in Bucharest when, as a child, during the revolution. It hits close to home for me.
You actually saw people being shot in the streets?
The first day of the revolution in Romania, yes, I was in downtown Bucharest with my father.
This Romanian native, like most of us, wants to do her part to help the people of Ukraine.
I can't do much, but whatever I can do to help and support these people, I will do it. I grew up in a communist country. The regime changed when I was 11. However, I have vivid memories from the days when we didn't have the freedom of speech.
And seeing the destruction of war is heartbreaking for Thomas.
I can't imagine having my home being bombed, taking my schoolyard where I shared my first kiss with a boy, you know, disappearing overnight, taking all these memories and places that are meaningful to you away, being just gone from the face of the earth, and losing, it's not just places, losing family members, losing fathers, losing brothers, losing kids. It's hard to wrap my mind around that.
So she has opened her heart and her luxury Airbnb apartment in Bucharest, Romania to Ukraine refugees. Thomas is quick to point out she's just one of millions reaching out.
A very large number of Ukrainian refugees crossed into Romania in the past few weeks. And the amount of help and kindness and generosity is just moving. And it's not just Romania, it's an entire world that is stepping up.
And we reached out to Anna Starankova. She's staying in Olga's Bucharest apartment.
I'm sorry for putting you on spot, calling you and having you talk about it. I'm so sorry.
Starankova tells me she feels blessed to have a place to stay thanks to Olga.
I live in very luxury apartments and in the center of Bucharest. I like to go for a walk in the park and like to run. Olga like an angel for me, really. In one moment I saw the letter from Olga, oh, I can help you. She doesn't ask me who I am, from what city, how old.
That's the kindness of a stranger.
Yeah, I really was in shock.
Olga is giving several Ukrainian refugees the solace of shelter.
At one point I told her, Anna, bring in as many people as you feel comfortable living with.
But Olga Thomas downplays her generosity and says her actions are just part of her own core values, which are simple.
Standing up for freedom to me is the most, and helping others. Freedom and kindness.
Olga is a former photojournalist and now concentrates on weddings. She's won a number of awards, and her photographs have been published in Time, Martha Stewart, and Wisconsin Bride. You can find her work on olgathomas.com, but she is such a beautiful soul. Coming up, we're going to have a special guest. Former anchor Joanne Williams will talk about her documentary and a fascinating exchange between two Wisconsin schools more than 50 years ago. But first, we have to meet our Positively Milwaukee Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Johanna here at Haws in Waukesha,
And today I have two Positively Milwaukee friends that are joining me. I have my friend Leo and my friend Araya, and they are 1-year-old cats who are a bonded pair, which means it's a buy one get one situation. So you adopt one cat and you get the other one for free. They are friends and they have lived with other cats and they have lived with dogs. We've been told they're good with kids. So these guys are really all around just wonderful cats. I also wanted to remind you of a wonderfully fun event that Haws has coming up, our 39th annual Romp and Rally Pet Walk, which is happening Saturday, May 7th at Sussex Village Park. This is a family-friendly and pet-friendly event. We ask that you bring your pets on leashes or in a container if you're going to bring them in a stroller or something like that. And it goes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. again at Sussex Village Park on May 7th. So please come out and join us. There's plenty of fun activities and food and games and raffles. It is a great time. If you are interested in finding out more about Leo and Araya or any of our other animals here at Haws, please go to hawspets.org or give us a call at 262-542-8851 to find out who we have here that's Positively Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. We have a very special guest with us today, Joanne Williams. You'll meet her in just a bit. She is the producer of the documentary Exchange in White America, Kaukauna and King, 50 Years Later. Right now we're going to take a sneak peek at that film.
I was just pretty much astonished at some of the things I saw.
I started crying because I was so, I just felt so uncomfortable.
It was like, okay, go in and let's see what happens. If somebody looks like they want to take my head off, it's like, I'm out of here.
There are a number of things that could have happened to this 16-year-old kid in that place in 1966.
This story is about a high school student exchange between Rufus King High School in Milwaukee and Kaukauna High School up in the Fox River Valley. And a social studies teacher at Kaukauna High School wanted his kids to have a broader view of the world. So to do that, he was going to have them perform a play. The play he chose was In White America, the history of African Americans from slavery to civil rights. This all happened in 1966.
And I'm happy to say joining me this morning is Joanne Williams. She's the producer of the film, The Exchange in White America, Kaukauna and King, 50 Years Later. And Joanne, this is an important piece of work, and I know that this took a while to complete. This is really a labor of love for you. How long did it take?
That's a good way to put it. It's a labor of love. It's a passion project, and I started it in 2016, so it's been 6 years.
Wow. Well, it was really important to do this because much of this film is vintage film from the TMJ4 library. A lot of this has never been seen. And when I look at some of these scenes, like the picture of the 4 black girls that were murdered in the Birmingham church bombing, or Dr. King leading protests through the streets, I became emotional. And I'm wondering, what went through your mind during all these years of research, Joanne?
Well, I wanted to tell the story of these exchange students. And it's a story that I had with me for 50 years. It was in my box marked high school stuff, my high school newspaper, and when I saw the date of it, it said 1966, and I found this box in 2016, and I said, this is a story, and I'm going to tell it.
But that's so neat. And we look at history and we look at today, so much has changed, but a lot is still the same in many ways. What are you hoping that audiences learn or glean from this film? I hope they learn that we can only make things better if we get to know each other one-on-one. And if you, in watching this film, turn to somebody next to you in the audience and say, what was your high school experience? What happened to me? I've found that people watching it have done that. And it takes a minute or two for them to think about it. But once they do, they start talking about what they remember. And they find that there have been very different experiences, but they would like to get to know other people in 2022 that they did not know before. Yeah, well, it's an enriching experience, and really we are all the same. And I know that you went through a lot of research, you went through a lot of trials and tribulations, but was there anything that really surprised you through this entire project, Joanne?
You don't know how long it took me to find the TMJ film.
I remember you calling me. So
yes. It took me a long time to find that film, but we finally did. I was surprised that nothing bad happened during the exchange. You'd think that in 1966, in the middle of the civil rights movement, there might be some clash or something. Well, there wasn't. There were a couple of little incidents as teenagers get into little arguments, but basically it all went well. And I was surprised about that, and I hope that comes out in the film, that it did go well, particularly near the end of the film. I hope you like the end of the film.
Well, you know, the humanity wins out, and that's what we like to say, ending on a positive note.
Yes.
The exchange went well, and you have to see this film. Joanne Williams, you all probably know her, a local legend, former TV anchor, reporter. Now she's a top documentarian, executive producer. So, you know, really, you should be very proud of this. This is really exciting.
Very proud of it. This is my third baby.
Oh, yes.
I have two
and your
kids.
two sons. Okay,
I
love it.
This is my third baby.
Yeah, that is a good way to say it. And the Exchange in White America, Kaukauna and King, 50 years later, is all part of the Milwaukee Film Festival.
Yes.
It's a fascinating and thought-provoking film that gives us an important springboard to really open dialogue about race. So we appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Joanne. And don't go away. Right after the break, we're going to tell you what Milwaukeeans are planning for Easter dinner. Plus, we're going to introduce you to some horses who are helping teach people be more confident. But before we go, don't forget lunch with me every Wednesday at 12:30 on Facebook Live. Now, last week I talked to this guy. I think you know him, our own Brian Goddard. You probably recognize him as our meteorologist on TMJ4, but you might not know how involved he is in the community. He's heavily involved with the Wisconsin American Lung Association and has taken part in the fight for air crime for the past 9 years. Every week I talk to somebody doing good in the community, somebody who inspires, someone who is truly positively Milwaukee, just like Brian Goddard. Tune in every week, leave a comment or question. We would love to hear from you. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Personal growth and improvement. That's a goal of staff at Stepping Stone Farm. Sarah McGrew talked to them about how your teacher might surprise you.
Horses are a relatively new addition to Nicole Shannon's life, but her short time at Stepping Stone Farm has led to some big changes.
I was more confident, I was more comfortable speaking up, being assertive, and I knew that the horses had quite a bit to do with that.
Nicole is an equine-assisted coach, but she started with equine-assisted learning. She says you don't even need to ride a horse to get the benefits.
I think, first of all, they're so present.
Stepping Stone Farm's founder, Leah Sater, says that presence is part of why horses can be so therapeutic.
They're really big, but they will totally give back what you are giving out. So if you're giving out love, they're going to give that love back to you. If you're in a bad mood, they're going to give that back to you too.
Seeing your moods and behavior reflected in a horse can really spur some personal growth. Leah says she brings a client and a horse into the arena and just lets it run free. And that's all it takes for a horse to do some pretty impressive work.
And they do that by being present, being aware of their surroundings, being really tuned into each other, and in turn they're really tuned into us. And so that's how they just naturally reflect back what's going on inside of us.
A question we would ask is, so why do you think the horse is doing this? And then we would ask questions like, so where else does this occur in your life? And work to see if there's a way that we can help people through what they might be experiencing.
Stepping Stone Farm has seen a lot of success through the equine-assisted learning program. Leah says she's had a few selectively mute kids who became much more talkative. And she's had an uptick in sessions because of the pandemic.
So a lot of kids really came in a bad way, struggling with just not having their friends around, not being able to interact with people. And so that's what we've seen a lot of just recently, a lot of anxiety and kind of depression and kids shutting down.
And even if a horse is reacting pretty strongly to your emotions, Leah says that's still a chance to learn.
You can put a lead rope on and then you can literally, you're literally, haltering your anxiety.
Horses have so much to teach us about being better humans. There's so much that they can give back to us, and that's why I'm really excited about doing this work.
And the farm has had such success with its equine-assisted learning program. Leah is now offering more sessions this spring, and she's opening up a program that's just for women. How nice. Well, kids all over our area are opening up Easter baskets this morning. Our Taylor Lumpkin tells us how baskets have a lot more than chocolate eggs and PEEPS. She explains how some special baskets are helping others.
Like a well-oiled machine. volunteers packed dozens of Easter meal baskets full of canned goods, cranberry sauce, gravy, and more to give out to veterans ahead of the upcoming holiday.
This gives them the opportunity to be with family, to cook a nice meal, to celebrate the wonderful holiday of Easter.
The Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative has been helping homeless and at-risk veterans across southeast Wisconsin for the past 14 years. This year, they'll be able to host their first ever Easter Meal Drive Wednesday after partnering with Ormel Foods and Pick and Save.
We're not only going to be able to feed 90 veterans, but it's also their family members, their spouses, and their children. So we'll probably feed over 200 people.
Kiana Sanchez, whose husband served in the Navy for 12 years, says she knows how important it is to support the veteran community, especially the ones struggling the most.
When you're in the military, you're kind of trained to be independent and figure things out on your own, and it makes it really difficult a lot of times for them when they are, struggling and they're experiencing a crisis. They sometimes won't even come for services.
And by handing out these meals, volunteers hope each veteran knows that they're appreciated and they matter.
These are the people that sacrificed. These are the people that stood up for our country, and we need to take care of them.
Absolutely. Now, holidays are really such a wonderful time to think about the less fortunate. It's wonderful to see those volunteers working to give our veterans a happy Easter. Well, we are big supporters of the arts here on Positively Milwaukee, and our James Groh shows us a new art installation that uses a unique medium just in time for Easter.
Peep this. It's an entire art gallery inspired by or made of PEEPS at the Racine Art Museum.
You must not think of them as conventional candy per se. You need to think of them as a method to an end.
In this gallery, PEEPS are the art and they're the medium. It's the 13th annual International PEEPS exhibition. Some of the art here is made out of food, but you don't want to eat it. These PEEPS have been painted and glued. However, that doesn't stop hungry visitors from trying them.
Every now and then we'll come in and we'll find a PEEP is missing, and we know somebody's either taken it or chomped on it.
There are 162 entries to the gallery and competition this year. The art must be made out of PEEPS or about PEEPS, so it can be like this diorama or a painting of PEEPS. Winners get the golden PEEP. While it is a competition, it's not really about winning or prizes. It's about making art in a different way.
I like it because of the happiness that it brings to people.
This PEEP art is just fun and colorful. My favorite was the PEEPS roasting what looks like other PEEPS over the fire. The gallery helps usher in the beginning of spring. There are PEEPS camping, PEEP animatronics, and even PEEPS on a video chat call. Plus, this year, there's an entire section about the invasion of Ukraine.
So there are many pieces about freedom and rights, and then recreation. So people are speaking to all aspects of their life here.
You have until April 23rd to take a peep at this gallery. It's open Wednesday through Saturday, noon to 4.
Take a peek at the PEEPS. They're so whimsical and cute. Now, if you'd like to visit the exhibit in person or virtually, we do have more information. Just go to tmj4.com. You can also vote for your favorite creation. Well, it's Easter Sunday, and just like many of our favorite holidays, that probably means a nice meal. So we wanted to know what's on your menu for Easter dinner.
Mashed potatoes for sure, I have to be on it, no doubt, mashed potatoes. It's kind of different every year. My mom makes something new every year, so I don't know, I'll have to see when I go home this weekend.
I gotta go with the cheesy potatoes is my #1 option, even if it's a side. And then I gotta go with my #2 is just the turkey in the middle. My dad always makes the best turkeys. It's Thanksgiving.
No, it's Easter.
Oh, oh my God. Okay, for Easter, then I have to go ham. I was totally mixed up. But.
I know what's on the menu is going to be a blueberry casserole and potatoes and Italian sausages because we're Sicilian. And what else?
Salad?
Fruit salad. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sort of a brunch. We do more of a brunch. You like candy?
Yeah.
Some ham, mashed potatoes, and some corn. Just as much Easter candy as possible. Just, mowing down on some
a good pie.
Yeah.
Ideal, I guess, is just seeing family, but I go to Marquette, my mom's coming out, so.
Oh, that's so nice. Is she bringing anything good to eat?
I don't know. We'll probably go out, honestly.
Okay.
It's good food around here.
It's fun to hear all those different answers. Now, growing up, I always had an Easter ham. My family always made that. But if you do have an Easter recipe you'd like to share with us, just go to our Positively Milwaukee Facebook group. We would love to hear from you. And if you want more tasty goodness, this first reason to smile is for you. Our local bakers pulled out all the stops to celebrate the Easter holiday. Check out some colorful concoctions from O&H Danish Bakery. The vibrant Easter braided colored bread is always a favorite. It's beautiful. Now, if you're looking for something sweeter, of course, the famous Easter kringle. Inside of all those layers, generations old carrot cake recipe. Now that's a delicious way to round out your Easter meal, and it's quite attractive. Okay, who let the dogs out? Bucks fans did. This is video of the Deer District on Doggy Day last weekend. All of these beautiful pups are helping other dogs. The festivities on Fiserv Farms Plaza supported Winston Wishes. Now that's a nonprofit that raises money for homeless dogs. How sweet, and I love their outfits. Now, if you're into racing, you're going to love this competition next weekend. You're going to be able to watch Wisconsin's first professional indoor drone racing competition, and you can watch it over ice. It features 50 pilots from around the country flying at speeds up to 120 miles per hour. Now, if you want more information, you just have to go to tmj4.com. I'll be back with my quote of the week. Empty pockets never held anyone back. Only empty heads and empty hearts do that. Our quote this week is from Norman Vincent Peale. Peale was a minister and author, best known for his book on positive thinking. He knew that money and resources might create a lot of opportunities for someone, but it took a positive outlook to really shine. Someone with no money can make a difference in the world if they're creative, hardworking, and they have love in their hearts for others. And I hope you can keep that lesson in mind. Be optimistic. Don't let anything hold you back. And as always, stay positively Milwaukee.